What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Man, this year really flew by. It feels like just yesterday I was playing Trails in the Sky for the first time, but actually that was like 8 months ago at this point. Somehow it's already December, and you know what that means. It's Game Awards season. That time of year where everyone can come together and appreciate all the amazing games that came out. And let me tell you, this year was nothing short of insane. The amount of banger games that dropped is genuinely hard to believe. We had Tekken 8, Uni 2, Grand Blue Fantasy vs Rising and Relink, Persona 3 Reload, Unicorn Overlord, Saga Emerald Beyond, SMT5 Vengeance, Trails Through Daybreak, Visions of Mana, East 10, and the list could just keep going. Look, what I'm trying to say is that this year was amazing for video games, and with the Game Awards right around the corner, everyone can tune in to see if one of your favorite games will end up winning an award for how great it was. Well, that's what I would say if the Game Awards were, actually good. Think about all the times you've watched the Game Awards. From those various memories, can you specifically remember being there just to see what game wins which award? No, of course not. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, watches the Game Awards for the awards. So what are people even tuning in for? Well, it's simple. The announcements. All the memorable moments from the Game Awards are never from actually seeing a game win an award. It's always something happening at the show itself. Either a cool game announcement or Jeff just being a complete dumbass. The awards do not matter. I don't think they ever have, to be honest. But this year, it's even more apparent that awarding games in a good and fair fashion is the least of their concerns. I mean, what normal person puts DLC as a Game of the Year contender, instead of having a separate section specifically for DLC? Same goes for remakes. Even if there wasn't a remake nominated for Game of the Year, I still think they should have their own dedicated section. Silent Hill 2 turned out to be really good, and Persona 3 Reload, well, it's Persona. Not to mention, some categories are just kinda redundant, either having the exact same contenders from another category, or two categories practically being the exact same thing. On top of some games being in categories they really have no reason to be in. We haven't even talked about the experience of actually watching the Game Awards. After quite literally every little thing they throw an ad up at you, it's almost like you're watching TV. You can never guess if the next thing they show is a game or an ad for something you don't care about. Overall, the Game Awards themselves are pretty bad. But as I've said before, we don't watch the Game Awards to see games win awards, despite that literally being the name of the event. But no, we're here for game announcements. Over the past few years, everyone has always looked forward to the Game Awards, purely for the fact that there's always game trailers and brand new game announcements there. I mean, in the last few years, we had trailers for Hades 2, Visions of Mana, Monster Hunter Wilds, and all those Sega IP revivals. And that's just the start. Go back a bit further and there was the P4AU re-release, Sephiroth and Joker in Smash, Bravely Default 2, No More Heroes 3, and the list just goes on. These announcements are easily the best part of the Game Awards. The hype is always insane when a big game gets announced, even more so when it's something you really care about. So instead of predicting what game will win Game of the Year, I'm just gonna be talking about what game announcements I'd like to see. Some of these might get a bit unrealistic, but hey, a guy's got a dream. Alright, first prediction. A new trailer for Freedom Wars Remastered. I'll be totally honest, I had no idea what Freedom Wars even was before the remaster got announced. But after the fact, I did a bit of research, and now I can say that the game seems cool as hell. It definitely seems like the kind of game I'd be hooked on for an ungodly amount of time. The game was announced 2 months ago at this point, with the release date set for the 10th of January. Considering that it's somehow already December, we don't have much longer to wait. I think the Game Awards will be the perfect chance to get tons of eyes on the game, and also to show off some gameplay, considering that the reveal trailer didn't show any at all. We've only seen gameplay of the remaster from an IGN preview and a few other videos on YouTube. Honestly though, I can't get over how cool this game seems. It gives me the same vibes as God Eater for some reason. And speaking of God Eater, next prediction, God Eater 4. Call me crazy, insane, whatever, just hear me out. I've known about God Eater for a pretty long time, I played God Eater 3 like years ago at this point, although I never really got too far into it back then. However, I recently finished the first game and got a bit into the second on PS5. I had a really great time, I can't even lie. Even if I got my ass kicked every so often, the games are just really fun all around, and a fourth game announcement would be insanely hyped to see at the Game Awards. God Eater 3 dropped in like 2018, so it's been a hot minute. Like 2 entire East games have come out in that time. Kinda crazy to think about. More importantly, God Eater 3 didn't have the same director as the first 2 games. The original guy, Hiroshi Yoshimura, went on to make Code Vein, another pretty good game. Now, why did I bring this up, you ask? Well, for the very simple reason that the director made a few tweets earlier this year, one in April and another in July. They were both about voice acting work for what we can only assume is a new game. But now we gotta ask, what was he cooking? There's really only 3 options here. A completely brand new IP, which wouldn't exactly be too much of a surprise. Code Vein 2, which also wouldn't be that surprising, considering that he literally directed the game. But also because the 5th anniversary of Code Vein was this year. Although, if it was Code Vein 2 he was working on, you would think they'd show a teaser in the month of the anniversary. Either they're saving the announcement for the Game Awards, or Code Vein 2 isn't what's being worked on, which leaves us with our final option. God Eater 4 is on the way. Now, the announcement of God Eater 4 could be a double-edged sword. On one hand, God Eater would be coming back. That alone would be hype as hell. However, there is a pretty massive game coming out soon that might also have a trailer at the Game Awards. Yeah, you can probably guess. God Eater can't really hang with Monster Hunter. Even if there is stuff about God Eater I think is better, but that's besides the point. If God Eater 4 is announced at the Game Awards, there's just no way it's coming out anywhere near the first half of 2025. Again, the game cannot compete with Monster Hunter. My guess, if it's actually announced, is that it releases around fall 2025, maybe in October. That seems like a pretty cool month to be able to play a brand new God Eater. Alright, next prediction. This is one I want to happen the most, and the one that's the most unrealistic. Astral Chain 2. Now, Astral Chain is a really special game to me. I'm pretty sure I was around 14 when I first played it. And man, that first playthrough is an experience I'm never gonna forget. Up until that point of my life, I had never played a game that felt anything the way Astral Chain did. The gameplay, the music, the atmosphere, the overall vibe of the game was just a totally new feeling for me, and it stuck with me ever since. For years, I've been trying to find something that could match the feeling Astral Chain gave me, and yeah, now I have a series I love just as much as Astral Chain, but it's for a completely different reason. I've come to accept that there's nothing else out there that comes close to having the same feeling as Astral Chain. The only other way to get that experience a second time is for the game to get a sequel. Now, that might seem like something that would never happen, but let's not forget, not only did Hideki Kamiya randomly just tweet out Astral Chain 2, but Lappy appeared in the trailer for Bayonetta 3. And can I just say, I was mad for weeks after that trailer, man. Anyways, what's important here is that Platinum Games acknowledged Astral Chain, so a second game isn't completely off the table. Now, will it be shown at the Game Awards? No, of course not. The hell? However, it would be really hype if it did happen. I promise you, if I see Astral Chain 2 at the Game Awards, my reaction will be generational. Next prediction, Senran Kagura 7. What I meant to say was that my next prediction is Devil Survivor 3. Now, this might be the most delusional of them all, but a man has to dream big. Now that Metaphor has come out, the only other thing to look forward to from Atlus is either more remasters or just another Persona. Granted, Persona 6 does have a good chance of being announced at the Game Awards, but truth be told, right now I don't really care. I haven't really been able to enjoy the recent Persona games. I beat base Persona 5 back when I was like 13. That was cool, but I haven't beaten anything else since. I never got to the new content in Royal. I never beat Strikers. I hardly got anywhere in Persona 3 Reload, and Tactica, I didn't even buy that game. However, when I played the demo for Metaphor, it felt way more engaging than when I was playing Persona. The characters were actually cool to me, the combat was fun, and I found myself actually wanting to play the game. Unfortunately, I haven't bought the full game yet since I kinda spent all my money. Anyways, you're probably wondering how this all relates to Devil Survivor 3. Well, since Metaphor was actually pretty enjoyable to me, I can't help but think that if Current Atlas made another Devil Survivor game, it could end up being generational. I really love those games, Devil Survivor 2 especially. So best believe if a third game is announced, I'd genuinely just lose it. For this last bit, I'll just be going through some predictions a lot more quickly, since I don't exactly have much to say about these. First, fighting game announcements. The next Strive DLC character is probably gonna get a trailer, although unfortunately I don't care about any of these characters. I swear I got robbed so hard. There's also Tekken 8, which could also have its DLC character shown off at the Game Awards. I don't really know who it'd be, but I've heard tons of people say it should be Tifa. Me personally though, I think it'd be really funny if they put a Tails character in for absolutely no reason at all. Hey guys, post-script writing Salt here. So they just confirmed that the next Tekken character is actually gonna be at the Game Awards. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. Anyways, alright, my last prediction, which is equally as unrealistic as the others. A teaser for the Ys 5 remake. I don't care if Ys 10 just came out. I don't care that the Sky remake is the only Falcom game for 2025. It would be an actual life-changing moment in my life if they showed off a teaser for the Ys 5 remake, like something similar to the 2014 TGS teaser for Ys 8. That announcement alone would make this the greatest game awards of all time. I'm not kidding. Unfortunately, this has like no real chance of happening. Even the word Ys being said at the Game Awards would genuinely be shocking, let alone a game announcement. But again, a man's got a dream. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. The Game Awards, while not being that interesting in terms of actual awards, can still be worth checking out depending on what games get shown off. I know my predictions were more than just a bit unrealistic, but if you have any less insane predictions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. There's probably some stuff even I forgot to mention. Anyways, that's all for me. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like or subscribe. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.